and welcome to another episode of Think About It with a Simple People. Thank you for listening. I have a very interesting guest today, and uh, we are going to be talking about some of the things that we've experienced together at the Scan Agile Conference, and at the same time, some of the takeaways. And you would see our energy, which is very, very good. And this is something that we try to get out from you. Welcome, Maria Ghlonti. I got it right, yeah?
Hi, yes, 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 yes. This sounds a little bit Italian, but I promise, at least what I know, it's here the Georgian one. Georgia is a like teeny tiny country in Caucasus, like next to Turkey. Turkey, they call it now. Just not to mix up with anything else, if you know what I mean. So,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, so it's a small country with a lot of history, ancient country, and I'm located now in Tbilisi, which is the capital city.
Yeah. Like you were telling me earlier, some of your text, like you have on your T-shirt, they are like a different text, and it has a lot of history.
Yeah. So I got here prepared just to promote a little bit my teeny tiny country. Maybe some of the people are still not lucky enough to know what it is and where it is and what it's all about. So we have our own language, our own alphabet, and it has a huge history. And yeah, so a very rich history, I would say. So these colorful letters are from Georgian alphabet. I'm very proud of it, and I wanted to also use this opportunity and tell this to the world.
Nice. Thank you for doing that. It's a very interesting factor to see. And it's so different from what we would have like the ordinary. When I was checking it out, like I did a bit of research when I was preparing for this, and I saw that hey, I couldn't comprehend a lot of things around what was being said on the website. But yeah, it's good you're telling a bit about what you have in Georgia. Tell us from the Scan Agile conference, what were some of your important takeaways? It's a conference that was held in Helsinki. I think it's up to 2 months now, about 2 months ago.
I think so.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what just take away from the Agile conference?
Yeah. First of all, as you might already notice and know. So I put a big value in people. So I really prioritize the people relationships, the new connections. And thanks to that, so I'm here with you in this very interesting environment. Um, so apart from new friends and new faces in my life, with a lot of smiles and a very good vibe for all the 3 days, um, I would say that there was a big variety of topics from any area. So very helping the agility, but at the same time, you would see a topic about the kids' education, also about storytelling from you, right? So about resilience and how to learn or unlearn the things. You would see the agility. So also in the industry, something like where you wouldn't even expect or imagine that the sprints could work in, for example, not the software company or like marketing or business, but in the car industry, right? So the sprints in car industry that we had an example from Tesla. So I also had an opportunity to participate in two workshops, one about the training from the back of the room and to find out a lot of techniques that I have read that book, but at the same time, when you see in real life how all these powerful tools help people engage and also feel the power of knowledge sharing with the simple techniques, it was really powerful. And apart from that, I remember very nice features that Miro shared with us. So Miro team shared with us, so with more integration of AI, more simplified ways of actually using Miro with the templates and all the built-in tools there. So for me, as a practitioner and as an agile coach, and Miro is something that I usually use. It was really very useful for me to understand how I can simplify the way I work and also make my life easier.
Yeah, yeah. I think there were lots of. It was really packed. There was
Yeah.
no and all of the parallel sessions. So it was really something that I missed your part, just so
Yeah.
because I don't remember at that point probably was involved in something else. But the idea is there was a lot of learning, there was a lot of connection. And yes, the training from behind is a concept that I kind of picked up that hey, this is one way actually to get people more involved in your path. And like you mentioned, you are a people person. I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
You jump
That's
before your path, and that's kind of something that usually individuals, or audience, they are tuned to that. They want to relate. They relate to that emotional side of people. And like you are also, and I know you are a researcher, and you understand how
You are well
it's
prepared, my dear.
very. Do you see, people and relating it to the storytelling part, the connection, the human connection? Why is it really important, especially in the agile community?
So that's a very good question, and I would say also a powerful one to see the connection between storytelling and people side of the value delivery, you say, right? So my background is in sales. Let me start from there. Um, I would say so. By education, I'm an IT person, plus then with some business education. But my very first job was in education, and afterwards, my very first job in banking industry, where I spent around 15 years in different financial companies here in Georgia before I joined the international company. Um, so the in sales there is a big value of storytelling because you need to convey the message of the value of what you are actually selling, and it's not just an opportunity for you to sell the product. So you need to sell the experience. You need to also engage that party, the buyer, so to say, to be actually hooked and interested in the way how this product works or what kind of experience it brings. I feel that being an agile coach, transforming the people mindset or transforming their daily practices or transforming the ways of their work, I do believe that storytelling has the same value as in sales because here you sell the value maybe not of the product but of the idea itself, the idea of agility, the concept of agility, the practices that will bring you value, and in the same time you need to understand the need from the customer. If in sales I had a buyer as a customer, you also have a customer here who needs to invest his or her time in these practices for example, for sprint planning or retrospectives. And um, when you are explaining this or you are engaging in the workshops or you are engaging in the trainings or you have just one-to-one and you have some mentoring or experience sharing or coaching or whatever, you need to connect it from the problem to the value it brings, so from the need to the value. And on this way you also share the stories of your previous experience. You share the stories from a neighbor team in the same tribe or in the same department. So, and there is always a limited time for you to do so. So to achieve any result, for example, if you take a one-to-one, usually it's just half hour for you and a team lead, or for you and a product owner, for you as a department lead, tribe lead, or whatever. So they have very limited time. And for in this half hour, you have to achieve the moment of aha. And I think this aha happens only with the understanding of the value, with the understanding of the need. And on this way, you really need to incorporate the storytelling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna ask you later about especially the sales part. And usually, one thing I do when I get to the workshops with people is kind of, this sell me the pen, demonstration, which is something that you use to draw out insight about people, and that is what you actually need when you sell, telling the story, connecting to the emotion. So I like that you're echoing that again as part of what we need to do, especially in sales. And I can tell that you're a very good salesperson.
Thank you so much. I'm a passionate one. I'm a passionate one because again, I really focus on people and bringing value to them. It's not like selfish part of like selling something because you want to. It never works in agile transformation if you have your own agenda. So
Mm,
if you have your own agenda as an agile coach and you stop listening and you stop understanding the need, so just selling from this perspective of like kind of pushing whatever you want to push at this moment, whatever you consider is important, will never work because the selling to happen, it needs right time, it needs a right emotion to be there, and it needs a right context.
yes.
So uh, yes, I am enabling the context. Yes, I am enabling that in motion. But at the same time, if I will be there with my own, like, oh, we need to implement the OKRs. It will never, ever work. At least it will not be sustainable. Maybe just for a kind of a report for 1 month, but just to show the numbers, I will call it like to draw the numbers, but not the real impact.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was mentioning that. I mentioned earlier that I was talking about, data storytelling in my earlier episode today, which is something that, we try to draw these very beautiful charts, and it looks good, it looks smart, and you look at the audience and they all look so confused, or they cannot get the essence of why that information is there. So in a way, storytelling still is key.
Yeah.
It's really important that we find ways to actually break information down to something that your audience can consume and retain for a very long time. And that's the goal here. And this is something that I also want to draw again, because you seem to be involved in, sales, in IT, and you're also a researcher. You
Yeah.
know, how do you find the balance, in terms of having all this in one plate? And I can tell the passion drives what you do.
Yeah. Sure.
One way, that's basically one way. Yes, we can say yes, that's the reason why you can be doing this. But how do you find the right balance?
So I would start from the last part of your question. So about the passion, and I think that the same way as we teach our teams about like the presence of the goal, the presence of the vision to drive you and to prioritize and to trigger your prioritization as well. So I would say in the project called Maria Ghlonti, which is like in this product development, by my almost 40s, so in somewhere, I guess 5, 6 years ago, I realized who I am, what are my strengths, and of course, with the help of some people, even professionals, I would say, I could understand what I'm really passionate about. Not just to satisfy the needs of my parents or relatives. Georgia is a little bit like a culture, uh, not individualistic culture. So you have a big impact from the society as well. So, and maybe late is better than never, but I realized what I'm really passionate about, and I started from that. When you are asking how you balance, first I found what I'm really passionate about. This is one thing. What are my values? A second thing, and only after that I use in my daily life the attitude of so the framework of sprint. actually, even for my family, because I have three kids. It's quite a big family, and all of them are like of different ages, of course, and even I have both genders, like a boy and a girl, two boys and a girl. So um, the sprint approach helps me even with the research part, around, I don't know, 300 pages or something. So I had a dedicated focus time for my research part because I'm most productive early in the morning. So I'm a morning person. So I could allocate, so first allocate the resource and then start sprinting, right? So first the team, the time. So I had this allocated time almost every morning. And I also asked my supervisor to have a meeting every second week on Friday at 12 at noon to share, so that I could share my next 2 weeks plan, and I could share what is the result of whatever I have already done and get some feedback. So even though my supervisor was not a big guru of this specific topic, so this was a management expert, but not specifically the agility that I had a deep dive on. So I used this attitude of my supervisor being available once in every 2 weeks, the same time, the same place, to have a kind of a planning and review and choose a focus and prioritize for my next 2 weeks. And as one of the agile principles say, keep people motivated. So I know that I'm motivated to do these kind of things, like creative things, like a research and things, early in the morning and also in a nice environment, nice surroundings. For example, most of part of my research I did in summer on the balcony with the seaside view. And so I was surrounded with an environment where I didn't feel like under pressure. So I had a nice view, I had a nice environment, sun, sea, and everything. So I created my motivation to get the results done. So, and the same for everything, I would say, is the mindset that helps me.
It sounds interesting because I want to, I picture it, in the sun doing your research. It doesn't really feel like research in that way. So, and
Yeah.
you tend to have been able to structure it well because from what I got from you now, you take those feedback sessions with your supervisor as a feedback session for yourself also to measure how much you've done and plan what you want to do. So, in that way, there's
Yeah.
right balance. So I really like that you brought it out very clear because
Yeah, and sense of
sometimes
commitment
some
happened. So it was my it was training of my own sense of commitment. You know, being at the planning and review for
yeah
half hour. So I was promising. So even in sales, when I met a client, so I tried to promise at the table that I will send you this and that tomorrow by 12. So in this promise, this commitment helped me to find the time for that promise with all the other efforts that I did during the day.
yeah
Yeah, so
yeah.
this
It,
really helped me.
it's really nice and very good to see some of these practical things in action. And because we read about them, but putting them in place is actually always difficult as more than. But you've got a good of it. It brings me to my next question. Agile is dying. You've heard that a lot. You've heard that it's changing, it's transforming. The advent of AI is going to take a lot of jobs. What do you think? What is the change that is coming? How is AI going to impact the agile community? What are we to expect in terms of
Yeah, I agree. This is a hot topic, truly. But I gave you one of the examples from my own personal life, how the attitude of focusing on value, being adaptable to change, using some philosophy of sprints, and all this stuff, even in the personal life, so helped me. So I would say. that I have seen a lot of clients. So I'm currently working for the international company, which gives me opportunity, an outsource company, which gives me opportunity to rotate from client and organization and team quite frequently. So I can say that the biggest time I spent with one client was 1 year. So it's usually 6 months to up to 1 year. So I'm rotating from client to client, which is actually different context all the time, different situation, and different background that those people have till the time I joined them. So I have seen a lot of zombie scrum, a lot of mechanical use of the events, for example, doing agility rather than being agile, right? So if you would ask some of the people and many people, so what is agility for you? It's like ceremonies, even not events. Like it's like kind of a rituals, even like rituals, ceremonies, or something like that. So, and I have seen misused, for example, the story points for man days or man hours, or as a weapon, as a like something that you can punish people with. Yes, the practices like this are killing the concept, the big and beautiful idea of agility, which I really find beautiful. And I do believe that there is a big importance of the initiatives like you do now, that you are inviting practitioners to talk about the value of agility, also maybe some weaknesses or some threats, so that we can understand what works and how we can really kill it. So I totally disagree that agility is dying. I think it's even more important now when we have a complicated, sophisticated, and even more um, kind of accelerated world with AI. So the impact of AI for me means that the expectations are becoming even higher for your productivity, even higher for your adaptability, right? And if you have the very traditional attitude and your mindset is still traditional and you are doing budgeting once in a year only and you are not reviewing it at least once in a quarter or a month, right? So, and if you are still working with the initiatives that you have planned a year before, or if you are celebrating achievements by the number of tasks or the number of story points delivered, or if you emphasize that Jira should be used more than asking people how they feel. So I do believe in the age of AI where things are even more automated and people first becomes even really first because AI cannot be empathetic, AI
Mm,
cannot show emotions,
mm,
AI cannot create motivated environment. So this is something that we as leaders, as people, should create, and I see even more importance of agile mindset there, to be honest. Um, so I'm also a user of AI because, as you can understand, so it's a huge help for me. It saves my time a lot when I'm creating some speech, or I need some visuals for my slide deck, or I'm preparing some workshop for my teams and I want it to be engaging, or I want to delegate some task creation or so refinement of it or whatever. So yes, it accelerates me, which means that the teams, the agile teams, should have in AI era even more time for valuable things to do rather than the mechanical ones,
mm.
right? So I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but this is something at least I believe in with the knowledge and background I have for now.
It's not about whether I believe you or not. So the question is, I'm capturing as much, opinion around this as possible. So in the same way you have opinions around this, and which are not wrong in any way,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are, and they are true based on what we see. In the same way, there are a lot of people that think about the transformation that is coming, and if we're able to really really brace up to it. But it's really nice that you have an opportunity to kind of, share your view on this, which is very important. And as agile mentor who has been many years doing that, your perspective is really valid and
Thank you.
so that that is nice.
Thank you for this question. And actually, you inspired me maybe to bring it as a speech or talk for one of the next conferences because I
Okay,
feel it's a really relevant question that you asked. Yeah?
nice. And that would take me now to this question, which is you are preparing for the conference in Tbilisi. What do you call? What's the name of the conference?
We call it Agile Exchange with uppercase X. So
Okay.
Agile Exchange. So it's for the fourth time in Georgia. And last time we had 350 people there. And the very first time, so the very first sprint that we did it 3 years ago, um, I didn't expect the interest to be so high. So at the very first try, we had more than 200 people joining the conference. And we realized that we need to continue with that. So we realized that we need to really connect the agile people here, and not only the like-minded people around agility, but also the ones who are maybe skeptical, maybe need some more information, or maybe are already planning to follow this path.
Mm. It's nice. It's nice to hear about it, and I understand what it means to put up an event of that size. The
Yeah.
amount of that goes into it and the amount of preparation. So kudos to you for doing that. And it's really nice that you're bringing this aspect of your work to fore. And this is something that we want to appreciate you for coming on. I want to say, in conclusion, what is your giveaway to those in the agile community, to those in the sales community, and those in the research community that you teach? What are your final thought giveaways?
So what do you mean by giveaways? So
What would be your final recommendation to anyone looking to transition from, or looking to, or kind of afraid of the things that are coming? Like, for example, we've been talking about that agile is dying. A lot of jobs are gonna go. Some of the people are not gonna be, employed. But you have a very different opinion. You said this is gonna transform rather. So for someone who is worried that, hey, I'm not gonna be in this process tomorrow. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. What would you tell them to make them calm down?
yeah, so I would say that at least this is a motto for me and my life: to stay curious, to stay positive. So even if you observe that there is a need for any kind of change, stay positive and curious about it and try it out. So I really appreciate the things being done rather than perfect. So good enough. Good enough is enough for me usually, because I learned something from it, right? Um, and I do believe that there is nothing 100% ideal and 100% worth nothing. So, with the background, with the experience, with the curiosity and positive mindset, I think we will be in a state where we can discover what is the most relevant thing here and now, rather than generalize it and like impact people emotions, or even like I don't know, seed some kind of a scary future. So yeah, I would say there might be a revolution as well, but I think both things like AI, agility, have their own positive sides, and we should bring as much value out of them both as possible, right?
Yeah, but I think that's a good takeaway. That would kind of keep me at
Mm.
peace if I and I really good
And
is
smile, and smile, just in any case.
I get good. Good is better than nothing, and that motto is already like it gives it all. So do the best you can. Try what you can do. It's better than not doing
At
it.
this moment, here and now. Yeah, that's
And
true.
and the passion you exhibit also.
Yeah.
That's something that we really admire and something that is rare to see. And thank you again for coming on the show. And it's really nice to have you. Sorry about the technical problems that we had in the beginning. These things always happen, but I'm sure we're going to continue this conversation again in the future, and especially when we draw down on some of the very little steps, the processes of getting things done, especially in the agile community. We want to break down some of those steps so that people can understand the takeaway, especially in the advent of the changes that we are experiencing, that especially AI is bringing. So we want to kind of be abreast, we want to stay informed. I want to give out those skills. So thank you so much for coming again, and we wish you all the
Huge
best
thanks
in the
from me as well. And good luck. And you are doing a really very good job. Thank you so much for
thank,
creating this opportunity for people.
thank you so much, and I really appreciate your coming to tell us a little bit more. So we are going to have you again on the show in the future to tell us about the conference and how.
True, true. It is September 30, 2025. So
Nice.
September 30th. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna try to put information in the content so that people who are listening can actually also see and see links to it. Are the tickets still going?
We have not, and we are not selling the tickets yet. We are at the stage of like lineup creation. Yes, but it will be happening soon by end of June already.
Uh,
Yeah, and let you know for sure.
And until next week, when we see again on the Think About It with Osita Facebook podcast, stay strong. Bye bye.
Bye.